Simpsons Hit and Run, arguably one of the best PS2 games of all time. In this video, I will review the game and go over what it's like in 2021. The game was released in late 2003, so it's 17 years old, and I haven't played it myself for over 10 years, so I was really excited to play it again and make this video. Considering the game is nearly 18 years old, I was really surprised at how much content there was, and I was really surprised at how much content I'd forgot they had. I had no idea that you could play as 5 different characters. I completely forgot, and I completely forgot that you can play on different maps as well. So there's a lot of content. There's 7 levels, and within each level there's 7 missions, which doesn't sound like a lot, but within each level there's 3 races per level. Once you've finished each race, you can unlock a car as well. There's wager and time trial races. There's collectible cards. There's collectible outfits for each character, and there's loads of collectible cards. Some of them are really cool to find, because you'd come across one that I'd completely forgot was even in the game, because I haven't played it for so long. I'd come across a car after the rocket car, for example. I'd completely forgot it was in the game, and I'd come across it, and it was just amazing. So yeah, there's a lot of content. I always had something to do, whether that was playing through the story or just aimlessly wandering around looking for some wasps to kill, so I could collect the coins and go and buy a car or buy an outfit for a character. Something I really liked was there was a level progress screen. So there was one progress screen per level, and it was a simple in-depth progress tracker. So for example, it would tell you how many missions you've completed and how many missions there are. It would tell you how many wasps you've killed and how many there are to kill. It would tell you how many cards you've collected and how many there are, for example, so on, and it does that for each individual thing that you can possibly do for that level. So it makes it really easy for these people who are completionists and want to complete the whole game. Something I feel the game does really well is that it forces you to explore. Now I say that in a good way. If you don't explore, you can't get coins. If you don't have coins, you can't get outfits and you can't get cars. You need to explore so you can find coin boxes and find wasps so that you can buy these things. Which makes the side stuff and the exploration kind of worth doing. There's a lot of games that have side quests and side content that doesn't really give you any reward, whereas this, you explore and you actually see a reward from all that exploring and all the time you put in and the exploring, because you can buy stuff, which makes the game much more enjoyable. What I wanted to touch on was how it compares to other and newer games. I'm not going to go into detail about how it plays in regards to glitching and stuff, because everyone's different. If I'm personally playing it on my PC, but someone could have a much better PC and it run way better, or someone could have a much worse PC and it run completely awful. So I'm not going to talk about how it compares in that aspect, but I want to talk about content-wise. The content's amazing and entertaining, even 17 or 18 years later. There's so much to do. I've probably spent between 20 to 30 hours playing it, which was much more than I expected. I expected to play about 5 hours and have the game completely finished, but no, I spent between 20, probably closer to 30 hours of playing it, and I was never short of anything to do. I think it's better and more fun than a lot of games that have been released over the past few years. It's not like it was good yet. Yeah, it was good when it was 18 years ago when it come out. It was good, but it would be crap now. No, it's still amazing, even 18 years later. I think if a new Simpsons Hit and Run game was released, I think it would sell better than, say, Call of Duty and FIFA sell. It's that people used to love it so much, and I think they still would. If they make a game that's like this, but bigger and better, I think Simpsons Hit and Run, the first one, is probably one of the best games ever made. If they made a Simpsons Hit and Run 2, I think that would be one of the best games, hands down, of all time. Let me know in the comments if you think they'll ever remake one. Personally, I think it's been too long. It's nearly 20 years. I don't think they'll ever remake one. But let me know in the comments if you think they will remake or make a Simpsons Hit and Run 2. Now, Simpsons Hit and Run is kind of notorious for having some really difficult missions. I was curious because I couldn't remember, so I looked online at what age it was supposed to be aimed at when it was released, and it was 7 plus. I was thinking, that's impossible. I have never screamed into a pillow so much in my life. Some of the missions are ridiculous. Some of the races are ridiculous. One time, there was a card, and I was trying to get to it, and I just couldn't. I kept on jumping and falling off. I just couldn't get to it. And he picked my TV up and threw it out the window. That's how annoyed I was. And if that's me, a 23-year-old, how the hell would a 7-year-old finish it? Now, it's one of the most annoying games I've ever played, but it's also one of the best PS2 games I've ever played. Why is it one of the best PS2 games I've ever played? I'm going to give you 3 reasons. 1, the amount of cars. There's so many cars. And what I also really like is, the further you get into the game, the cooler the cars seem to get. So you can unlock a police car. That sounds really boring, but it's actually really fun. You can unlock a hearse that has like a fire pattern on it. A hover bike. An invisible car. Rocket car. There's a Formula 1 car. It's a racing car. And you unlock it. Or I can't remember if you unlock it or you have to buy it. But if you are struggling in any of the races, wait until you get that, and you can go and replay the races and use that car. It'll be a lot easier. There's Krusty's clown car, and there's Mr. Burns' limo. Now that's just like a few that I've named. There's so many more that I haven't named. Those are just some of my favourites. Probably my favourite on that list is probably Mr. Burns' limo. I don't know why. It's just because it's not very fast. It's quite slow and chunky. But I don't know. That's my favourite car. Second reason is the maps. I like the fact that you change the map each level. It keeps things fresh. Probably if you was on the same map for the whole duration of the game, it might be a little bit boring. But that keeps it fresh. My favourite is Springfield with the Halloween decorations on. That's one of the things I actually remembered. I remembered I forgot a lot of things about the game, but that's one of the things I did remember that was coming up. And finally, the characters. You come across a lot of different characters, and it keeps the game entertaining. After many hours of playing and exploring Simpsons Hit and Run, I strongly believe this is still one of the greatest PS2 games of all time.
This'll be Marge's secret. Yes!